If you want the most guaranteed way to get art commissions, this is it. So I'm gonna lay out the most perfect plan for you to get your first art commission while you watch me draw this today. And throughout this entire video, I'm gonna show you really great examples of what to do, what not to do. We're gonna talk about how to price yourself, how to market yourself, where to best find clients, and everything else that you never thought of. Now, throughout this video, I really wanna help you out because, listen, I'm somebody who started out from absolutely nothing. No following, no prospects. I don't come from any big art industry. I never worked for Blizzard or Riot, okay? I'm just an average Joe, just like you, that started this one up a long time ago. And because of that, I've stumbled, I've fumbled. And if this is your first time, my name is Sean, welcome to the Art Mentor. And now, looking back, I realize that there's three big issues I have with most art commissions advice that you might have fallen victim to. Number one, which is that most people are just parroting the same exact thing that have literally been on this platform of YouTube for the last 20 years, and it doesn't work. Number two is that a lot of people that are doing this advice are not actually doing art commissions. So it's kind of like taking parenting advice from somebody that doesn't have kids. And then number three, you're gonna hear a lot of advice from people that actually didn't stick with it and they don't really ever do it. Whereas I'm somebody who started out really humble and small. I started at only $35 commissions, and now I can get upwards of $1,500 commissions, and I have a very robust growing business. So over the last 10 years, I've been able to do this because most people only do this for about a year or two before they quit. I want to help you not experience this. I want to help you experience the joy, the happiness, the success that you're wanting from this one. And so to help you out with that, I did make a free resource for you. It's down in the description right there. Go ahead and grab it. And this is the entire game plan. So listen up, do all of this, and this is how you're gonna get your first client. Now, the first topic that we do want to discuss is social media and your following. And contrary to what everybody believes, you do not need a following to start commissions. You also don't need a following whatsoever to go ahead and price yourself up. You also don't need a following, therefore, to go ahead and actually sustain your business. Just to submit myself for your consideration here, friend, I'm somebody who still doesn't have a following. If you don't believe me, go ahead and check all my socials. Less than 1,000 on everything, okay? Because here's the thing that I just want to lay out from you from 10 years of experience in doing this and never relying on social media for even a single day of it. You will not find your clients that you want on social media. That works really well for people that have 5-figure follower accounts. But you that has 362, not gonna work for you, friend. And you don't need it, okay? Here's the reality that I found from actually being online in these spaces and actually getting clients that will pay hundreds of dollars. You will not find the clients that you want through social media because social media does not show artist work. It does not show your commission sheet if you think that that's an important thing. We'll talk about that. What it does is it serves up mind-numbing entertainment content. It is not meant to connect you with your client. I will talk to you today about where to actually go, but this does not matter whatsoever. So please release yourself from the shackles. And the other thing too, I just want to let you know is that if you have a strategy to grow on social media, there's no strategy. None of them work. And you've probably felt that bit by now too. And if you disagree with me, let me just ask you, okay, let's say you want to take that road. How long do you want to wait? You want to wait a year, 2 years, 15 years? Because there's no way of telling if that train's ever going to come in the station. Because that's not a strategy, that's a wish. And there are better ways that you can do it, action-based things, and let's go into the next step for that. Now, if we ignore all of social media nonsense because it doesn't work and it's not helping anybody, here's the thing that you do need to do. Start off with all of your offerings. Take a look at what your artworks are and just think about this. Who are you trying to serve? Because if you're going to offer yourself up there for freelance work, you need to go ahead and actually provide it to a client. A client that wants you. In building demand starts with one simple thing. You need to have a niche and a style that you are going to represent. And so this is where I think a lot of artists get a lot of contrary advice, and let me just simplify it for you right here. You starting out, just stick with one style and one niche. But Sean, what if I have multiple interests? What if I have multiple styles that I want? Boil it down. If you cannot align all of your offerings to just one style and niche because of how confused you are about it, let me just simplify it for you like this. If you were to go ahead and make one style, one niche artwork for the next 10 years and not get paid for it, but still enjoy it, which one would it be? That's the one that you want to choose. And so for me, as you're watching me draw this, I do semi-realistic Dungeons & Dragons artwork. And for you, it might be that you do anime Final Fantasy XIV characters, or you want to do Pokemon OC trainers, or you want to do 3D Cyberpunk characters, whatever it is, but just pick one and that's all. And again, most of the time what you're going to hear is this advice that you should cast a wide net, but honestly, all the fish are slipping through it because your holes are too big. And it's not going to attract more customers, it will actually lessen all of your prospects. Moving on to number 3. Now that you've decided on that, we need to talk about what are you putting out, what are you offering, what's attracting those clients? Because again, we don't have social media, it doesn't matter. So let's first talk about what not to do. And here's a perfect gem for you to never do, okay? Please, for the love of God, don't ever create an artwork that looks like this, where you have one character and then it's segmented up to 3 different ways. Y'all, you are an artist. Every single one of your examples should be a separated artwork. Never ever try and present yourself like this. I'm just gonna be honest with you because I care about you and I want you to succeed. This will make you look lazy. This will make it look like you don't make art much. And that's not your case. So now, what do you have to do in order to present yourself best? Here we go. 3 basic examples like you can see right here. You need a bust, so that's typically just from the chest up. You need a half body, which is typically from about the thighs up or from the hips up. And third, a full body character, okay? Now, if you wanna go ahead and spice this up even more, you can toss in a 4th, which would be a full-blown illustration, which includes the character plus the background, okay? So just these 3 to 4 simple artworks designate what you can do, and this will align to our later discussion. How do you price your work too? Now let's just say that you don't do characters. Let's say instead that you do landscapes too. Okay, cool. So have one that's just a raw landscape, have one that's a landscape plus an environment, so that's gonna have some architecture in it, and then a third one that's gonna be strictly like within a city. Or let's say that you do map designs for D&D players, okay? So if this is your case, what should you do? You should do one that has like an entire continent, one that has an entire world, and probably one that's more of like an urban city-ish center, because that can definitely be a lot more complex for my map maker friends out there, you know what I'm talking about. But have at least 3 examples all aligned to one niche and one style, and you are set up for success and for the next step on here. Let's check out level 4 here, because this is where I want to give you some real power moves that are really gonna increase the chance that you're gonna get somebody that wants to pay you some good money for it. So here we go. Here's a specific example that I see all the time and I'm always citing. So generally, if you look at my work, I'm into Dungeons & Dragons, all right? I do this a lot for custom characters and players, okay? And so just bear that in mind for a second, whom I'm serving. And so for you, if you were also interested into this, the issue is that you're going to create generic fantasy characters. You might make characters that are just wearing a dress or just wearing a suit of armor, or they just look like a mage. And that's a problem. So the thing that I would really urge you to consider is that you have to pander to the specifics within your niche or genre. Let's say that you're doing World of Warcraft characters. Guess what? You need to make sure that those characters are using specific WoW-based items. Things that the characters wear, things that the characters use for weapons, and so on and so forth. You need to make sure those are specific locations, not just some generic rocky location that you made up. No, friend, a specific location in the game. And again, with me, with Dungeons & Dragons, okay? If I'm going to do this, because I know this is what my clients expect from me, I'm gonna do very specific armor sets, very specific weapons, very specific items that are placed within this that help to designate who the character is and say something special about them. Your ability to nail it on the specifics is specifically what a client is going to look for. You see that? Here's another thing too. Y'all, please, for the love of God, have some diversity amongst all of your offerings. Here's a good example I see all the time. A lot of times, I look through an entire portfolio of work. It might be like somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 8 images. Every single one of them, same exact lighting. Same exact lighting coming from the top left, or from the top right. Boring, boring, boring. The other thing too is that this doesn't show a lot of skill from you either, just because you can light a character. And so for you, I would really encourage you, differentiate things in there, okay? Differentiate the lighting, differentiate the races, differentiate the classes, differentiate everything that you're doing into that artwork, because every single time that you make a new version of it, a potential client's gonna look at it and say, oh wow, that's what I want. Because what nobody's ever told you other than me is that clients aren't actually looking for your work. They're looking for an artwork that aligns to their image of what they want their work to be. So you have to present that to them and be specific to do that. Now, step 5, I'm gonna rock the boat a little bit here, but please hang on my words because you really need to hear this one. What not to include. All right, listen, this is coming from a lot of love and 10 years of experience in doing this, y'all. Here are some things that you absolutely should not include in your offerings to attract potential clients. Sketches, line arts, flats, half renders, or black and whites. Oh no, I'm gonna tell you why. You're basically creating AI fodder. If you're not familiar with this, especially because you're probably new to this, here's a scam that most clients run that are going to ask for this, is that they are going to ask you for the cheaper or cheapest option that you have. And then they're gonna throw it into an AI software and it's gonna finish it for them. And so you've now had your artwork stolen twice. You've had your artwork potentials stolen once, and then you also had it thrown into an AI algorithm. Great, now it's stolen it. And so you've been screwed twice. And you don't want to do this. Now, aside from all that, here are some other issues with this. When you do, again, sketches, line arts, flats, half renders, or black and whites, what you're doing is you're giving them incomplete artworks, and you're not going to ever be able to really grow it from there. Trust me, I've seen it. Again, most artists that do commissions will only stick with it for 1 to 2 years because of a lot of these concerns. So just don't offer it. Take them all out and only offer finished works. That's how you level up, and that's how you gain more. Next, on level 6, we really have to think about this. How are you going to price yourself? Because you're not doing this for free. You could do it for free if you want. You don't have to get commissions, just throwing it out there. But if you do want to do this, I'm going to urge you to think of it like this though. I want you to please approach this like it is a business and it's not a hobby. So on that note, here's what you need to think about. Your minimum price point that you should open any art commissions for, and it can be higher than this, but should be minimally $50. Now, just to be clear with you, that is not, oh, well, that's just for my top tier illustration, but I have some smaller ones below it. No, it's $50 minimum. You will not get out of bed and draw for any client for less than $50. Now, just throw it out there for you too. I am talking in USD, and that is regardless of your location, wherever you were born, wherever you were lived. Because I'll tell you this, from my experience, I work with people in my mentorship that live in Southeast Asia, that live in South America, that live in Eastern Europe, that live in Africa, and they're able to pull and start at over $250. Like, imagine if that was you in your economy, in your state. Nobody knows and nobody cares where you live, friend, except for you. So just don't advertise yourself like that, because no one's ever really gonna know anyways. And then here's the big thing too, again, just to reject this idea. You don't have to have a following to have good pricing. That's silly. That doesn't make any sense. That's like you choosing your life partner based on how many other partners that they've had to validate that they're actually going to be somebody that's good for you. It doesn't correlate, friend. And again, for me, to submit myself for your humble consideration here, I'm somebody with no following. I still don't have a following right now. I started out at $35 commissions, so even less than what I'm proposing. That's why I'm telling you to do this. And then I slowly built it up over the last 10 years, and now I can get up to $1,500. And that's why I make content like this, so that I can help you and the next generation do this a lot smarter and a lot less dumb than I used to do that. And if you want more like this too, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe so I can give you more helpful advice just like this every single week. And hey, please go ahead and share this with other artists that are struggling with this or want to do better just like you. And if you don't know about this too, please go ahead and hit that hype button. That hype button directly tells YouTube algorithm, hey, this is good. Please share it with more artists, because I want to help change the landscape of how we do it just like this. And now essentially, here's a better way I want you to think about pricing. It's an internal question you need to ask yourself of how much do I want to get? And honestly, your artwork is worth whatever people will pay for it. And that has to start with what you do, what you try. And if you're not getting what you want, we'll talk about that in a minute. All right, now let's move on here because I got to tackle this one. Now we have to discuss your commission sheet. You've probably seen these online. You've seen loads of examples. You've probably been following people that also push these things out. And for you that wants to start your art commissions, here's a big nugget of free information that nobody else will tell you that's doing really well. Stop doing commission sheets and just don't do it. If you had a thought that you need to have a commission sheet, let me just tell you every reason very quickly why you should not. Number one, it does not interrupt the scroll. Here's what I want to show you right now. Here's a picture of my post featuring my solid artwork. Here's also another post that has a commission sheet. Imagine that you were a client scrolling. Do you think that somebody's actually going to stop and look at your commission sheet and read all of that versus look at my artwork? No, they will not do that. So the big issue with commission sheets is step one, it doesn't actually interrupt a client's scroll. If it doesn't interrupt a scroll, guess what you're not gonna get? Anything sent to your PayPal. The other issue with this one is that even if they do, they're not looking at your art. They're not looking at how valuable you can be. They're not looking at your great ideas. They're looking at your price. Your price is the only thing that they lock onto when you make a commission sheet. And we want to flip that on its script if you want to sustain this. Here's another big issue I see too. You might take a look at a big splash image like this where it has like multiple artworks onto it, and it'll have this pricing also as well on pricing sheets. Hate these things. And the other thing too is that it ruins the artwork. Here's a full cover illustration I did for a book that's actually published, and I got paid $1,500 for this one. Now let's go ahead and reduce it down to this. Look at how pathetic that looks. And no matter how I try and move this thing around, it just looks awful. It just doesn't capture the whole scene. What you're doing is you're ruining an entire character and an entire artwork to just make it fit a frame. I mean, unless you're making bookmark commissions, it's not gonna work for you. Now, will clients buy without a commission sheet? Yes, they absolutely will. I'm gonna get into that in a second. But at the outset, please know this is a waste of your time. It's a waste of time for you to design this. It's a waste of time for you to lay it out. It's a waste of time for you to figure this out and then get rejected by it, because it's gonna happen. And I made an entire video ripping these things apart and giving you a lot of insight into why this absolutely hasn't worked for artists over the last 20 years, and it's also not going to work for the next 20 either. So that's down below in the description, but let's move on because that's a heavy topic in and of itself. Don't make these though. Now, let's say right now that you're somebody that's already started. Let's say that you follow all my advice, you followed everything on that checklist. Again, that resource for you is free. It's down below in the description. And you're still not getting anything. Well, why? So let's just examine what are the most common objections and considerations and also excuses you're probably going to naturally come to. So first and foremost, it's got nothing to do again with your following. Nobody cares about your following. There are plenty of people that get absolutely crickets on social media and absolute stacks in the bank. They're not correlated to each other anymore. Can a following help you? Absolutely. If you had 100,000 followers, absolutely you can knock it out of the park, charge whatever you want, and do whatever you want. But guess what? That's not you, friend. So you got to eliminate that excuse. Also, number two, it's not the economy. All right? People are buying all kinds of stupid, silly stuff all over the place, way more expensive than what you want to charge. So that doesn't matter. Clearly, that's not the case here, y'all. We can't use the economy as an excuse because I'm somebody that's been in up-down economies and the current down economy right now, still doing great. And plenty of artists I know and instruct in my mentorship are killing it too. And by the way, if you want more one-on-one with that, by the way, you can check out the link down below in the description to learn all about my mentorship and what I've been able to do for people just like you. It's also, by the way, not where you live. Like, just throwing it out there again. Like, if you live in Brazil, shout out to you awesome people in Brazil, nobody's putting up a post that says Brazilian artist, only pay in Brazilian currency. It doesn't work like that. You're gonna go ahead and put up a post that says something effective like, hey, I wanna go ahead and make your cyberpunk edge runner OC character. That's it. Nobody knows where you live. So it's got nothing to do with that. And people aren't discriminating you based on where you live, unless you're really throwing that out into people's faces. So if you're not getting art commissions, let me just expound for you right now. What are the three reasons that you're not getting commissions? Number one is that you don't have a niche and a style that you are aligning everything to. If you were to go ahead and message me right now and send me exactly what you're putting out there, I guarantee it would be one of the things in this video, and it would probably be your niche, because most often people aren't sure how to do this. If you're not, here's the way I want you to think about this. You think about narrowing your niche as a way of you narrowing your potential, but it's actually hyper expansive, because you can actually grow because you look like a specialist and not a generalist opportunist. It doesn't work. Number two is that you're not posting enough. You're not posting consistently enough either on platforms that actually work. And I'll get into where those will be in just a second. But if, let's say, for example, you post once this month, and then you post once in 2 more months from there. Or if you're only going to post when you feel like it. What if you never update your artworks on there too? Again, these are things that you have direct control over. Now, might it be your pricing? It could be. It depends on how much you're asking, and it depends person to person and case by case. Like, let's just say, for example, that you have really novice looking work and you want $1,000. Well, obviously, I'm not gonna say that you can get that. Maybe there's somebody out there that will pay it, but there might not be. So if that's your case, friend, continue to do these 3 things. Adjust your works, continue to make more works, and also seek some extra help and guidance from people around you, or maybe you want to hire a coach or a mentor again to go ahead and give you that critique and feedback you need in order to improve that and to better align your offerings. But if you're not getting any commissions, listen, that's feedback for you to go ahead and level it up. And it always comes back to one of these things. But we've still got more. Now we've reached the biggest point here. Where are you going to post? Sean, where am I going to get people that will pay for my work, that I don't need to show my pricing to, that I don't need to rely on social media algorithms for? Well, listen, I've really carefully curated this list for every place that you can go, that you can actually do this. And yes, it requires absolutely no cloud online to do it. You can start it out at absolutely nothing. And to learn where all those people are, go ahead and check out this video right here. I'm gonna teach you everything that most people have no idea about. Thanks so much for watching. If this helped you, share with somebody that you know. See you next time.